If you could envision your most purposeful year yet, what would it look like? I'd like to take you on a journey of my story. My story of how my most purposeful year yet was not how I envisioned it. My story of how doubt can spark deeper faith, how one thing lost and one thing gained can bring love and healing to the hearts of many, and ultimately what you all might relate with. How the hardest experience in life often ends up saving us. My husband and I were high school sweethearts. At 22, 23 years old, he's established his career in dentistry. I was managing clients while working in the housing sector. We bought a home, we made time for our families, we gave back to our communities, and we were both looking towards pursuing graduate school. Since I studied communications and have been in this field for 6 years now, I've had to challenge the people and organizations that I work with to build and maintain their brand reputation. And because of that, that became a natural tendency to perform on myself. I think a lot about who I am, what defines me: daughter, sister, wife, a career woman. What usually goes after that? Mother. Now, although the life I've worked towards made it seem like the next step for my husband and I was to start a family, becoming a mother was at the very bottom of my list. And frankly, aside from those around me, it never even crossed my mind because I didn't want it to. I told myself, I haven't achieved all that I'd like to, and I don't know when I'll ever be ready to be a mom. But lo and behold, in February of this year, I found out that we were having a child. And as if this didn't frighten me enough, we then found out at my first ultrasound that we would actually be having twins. And then we found out at the second ultrasound that they would be twin boys. Everyone around us shared in our family's joy, and soon thereafter, I found myself silencing my inner critic and allowing God to transform my mind. I lived the following months throughout my pregnancy with purpose, realizing that these two sons, they're blessings, and there's nothing more important than being chosen to raise the future. And looking back now, I really did enjoy my pregnancy. I continued to work, I was healthy, I was strong, and we even traveled. It was all smooth sailing until the 4th month when we found out that one of my placentas wasn't functioning as it should. I was given the option to terminate the baby and was told that bed rest, changing my diet, there's nothing that could change the situation that could decrease the likelihood of losing one of my sons. As women, we usually find it easier than men to talk about how we feel, but some pains go so deep and feel so personal that no one else can fully understand our heartache. Even the most empathetic of friends and family can only go so far and no further. So I kept to myself. Eventually, I stopped working, and all that I needed to do was to cry out to God to hear me out and save my baby. So then came July 9th, my milestone ultrasound to find out whether that twin, whom we named Lincoln, made it. He didn't. I have a hard time putting words to that moment. It was a great summit in my life. It was like pain had stripped me down to the bare bones, and I saw a different side of myself, a different reality. It was like waking up during surgery and feeling your guts being ripped out of your body, but afterwards feeling more alive, more awake, something that wouldn't have made sense to me before. I didn't ask God to heal me from my pain, although I knew He would. My prayers focused more on how I was going to move forward with my life, how to stay positive, because I still had our other son, Troy, growing inside of me. But then 4 days later, I had begun experiencing cramps. Lincoln's water had broke, which triggered me to go into preterm labor and have an emergency C-section. Before I could even start to grieve, I had given birth to my stillborn son, Lincoln, and my other son, Troy, at only 27 weeks. I spent the next 3 months inside the walls of the neonatal intensive care unit watching my little boy grow. I had given birth and yet felt nothing close to what I thought a mother was. I experienced fulfillment in mentoring young women, and the girls, especially at my local church, would tell you that I would be the first to remind them about their worth and about how their value isn't measured by what society says or what the other person thinks, because comparison is the thief of joy. But I was on my journey that challenged me to practice what I preach. I remember grocery shopping and seeing these adorable twins in the cart. I looked at my husband and said, that was supposed to be us. At night, I'd see highlight reels of the perfected version of motherhood on social media and think to myself, is what I'm going through merely a dream? I had to sit back and remind myself that I'm a mom. I wasn't a typical mother, but what that journey taught me was to make a choice, either to be angry at losing Lincoln or to be grateful for Troy, despite the fact that he was fighting to survive. I couldn't breastfeed him yet, but they provided him my milk through a tube to help him grow. I couldn't rock him back and forth to soothe him when he cried, but I could sing to him through his incubator, letting him know that I'm there. I couldn't snuggle him whenever I wanted, but I could help him and hold him for an hour on my chest, giving him crucial skin to skin. Loss and brokenness, it transformed me, reshaping and redefining who I was, and I never knew that I would have this unbelievable determination to care, to nurture, and to protect a child. My fear became faith, my hurt became hope, and rather than adopting the identity of a despondent woman, I forged a new identity as a comforter, advocate, leader, and hope lifter to help others. I didn't realize that there was a powerful warrior inside of me who was able to face and to overcome something like this. Babies are fearless. They don't understand fear. And that's what this journey has taught me. It's taught me that fear has no place in my heart, and it's allowed me to witness the miracle that has forever changed my life. The doctors told me that for a baby to survive, he would have to be born at least at 29 weeks. But after being born at 27 weeks and spending more than 70 days at the hospital, I finally got to bring Troy home last month. I'm proud to say that my 9-to-5 gives me the opportunity every day to advocate for those who don't have a safe, secure, affordable home over their heads. After watching my son fight for his life, it makes me want to live like I'm fighting for mine, not just for survival, but like what we all say here, to thrive. So that while he's under our roof being raised in our home, he feels secured and loved. And I've realized that the word mother is more powerful when used as a verb than as a noun. You and I are uniquely gifted to help others in their lives become more of who they truly are, to encourage, to nurture, and to mother them toward their true selves. However, I now know that before we can start to do that authentically, we must first learn to mother ourselves with grace. So is it possible to have peace in an uncertain world? To not only expect the unexpected, but to embrace it? Most of us want to have life under control, but stepping into our God-given destiny means stepping into the unknown. I'd like to tell you all that your dreams may have turned to nightmares, but that's not the end of your story. There's still so much more that I want to accomplish, but now I've got an even greater drive and determination because I've got a new source of inspiration and motivation, my son. And I want him to know that sometimes you have to go through trials to see the most beautiful blessings. So what perspective will you have today? Will you dare to step in every unknown of your life? Our most trying times can somehow leave us whole, and that's when life becomes a little more precious. Thank you.